Konnichiwa.
And howdy, y'all.
I'm Leslie.
And I'm Laurie, and welcome to
Sumo Kaboom.
Sumo Kaboom,
where we talk about all things sumo.
Yes, and today we are recording on Valentine's Day.
That's right. Love is in the air.
And that is why today we are bringing you the results from our annual Sexiest Rikishi poll. That's right. 150 of you voted.
Wow.
And I
feel like last year we had like 15 people.
No, well, we definitely did not have.
Oh, we have opinions on sexy wrestlers.
We definitely have opinions this year. You guys shocked me. Reading over your answers were so illuminating.
We have a very passionate fan base.
Yes.
I mean, not passionate for us as much as the wrestlers.
Well, and that's the way it should be.
It's the way it should be, yeah.
Really, you're just listening to us and you're watching the wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to bring you a lot of the results from the survey.
That's right. So this episode is not going to quite be as our other episodes are, filled with history and interesting sumo facts. We're going to bring you just pure love, a little lust.
Yeah, quite a lot of lust.
And hopefully some laughs.
Let's get to the results of this poll. Now, you guys and gals voted for all sorts of different wrestlers. Lots of people got votes, but I figured probably the best way to do this is just to share the top 3 slots, okay?
Yeah.
And then after we share the top results, then we can go back and share with you some things that really popped out, because there are obvious characteristics that we all respond to, and they sort of come up, like you favorited them in different wrestlers, but there's a theme, you know? We can sort of point to those themes, why certain people are sexy. Last year, our winner was Enho.
That's right.
And
I mean, very sexy.
Yeah, he is very, very, very sexy. And I think
he was new on the scene. He was newer.
Yeah, well,
he was like a
debutant,
people were
watching him in the top division, and they were very inspired by him, and they thought he was like super cute.
He is cute.
Yeah, but we have new people up top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this was surprising and awesome at the same time. I was like, I agree with everyone.
Yes.
I do.
Yes. I just loved reading the responses.
So much passion.
Let's get right to it. In third place, we have Ura. That's right.
Who also, by the way, recently tested positive for COVID. So,
well, didn't
everybody?
Like 50% of people in sumo are positive for COVID.
I didn't even include it in the news because I was like, this is not news to anyone.
Yeah.
By the way, all of them have had it. But don't go kissing Ura right now. Because
not right now. Let him get better.
10 days or however long, but just give him some space.
But let's just say that there are a lot of people out there who really love the fact that he is so incredibly limber and he has the cutest face ever.
He's very flexible.
So many people.
I don't know why people care about the flexibility. But
I do.
I mean,
it does make him stand out, doesn't it?
It does.
Several people
I like how he sniffs the wine,
it's pre-bout.
Yeah, pre-bout. He sniffs it, takes the notes of whatever he's
which
tasting.
I think looks like elk and heat. Yes.
And then, that's what everybody sees. Or people see different things when they come to
Ura.
A
lot of people, when they see Ura from these responses, a lot of people just say he's so adorable. He's got a sweet personality. One particular person said, because he's an earnest, hardworking cinnamon bun.
And others think, hey, I mean, it's the pink mawashi.
Yeah.
And he does a cute little finger twirl before the bout. That's kind of what I see. It's the wine tasting moment. He's a total package is what other people said. I like that someone wrote a criminally overlooked sweet dork sexiness.
Which is so right on. That is 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love... Okay, so first of all these things that we're reading out to you are direct quotes from you, our listeners, and we don't know who they're from. We didn't ask for people's names, okay?
Right.
So this is anonymous.
It was a chance for you to be anonymous, so you could be honest. You're 100% self and expressing yourself.
So this person who said that Ura is criminally overlooked sweet dork sexiness went on. Do you want to read the rest of the quote?
Yes. The guy you overlook until the end of the movie. The second lead in the K-drama who steals everyone's heart. To all those who would say he is more cute than sexy, I will only say this. Grow up. Also, this person wrote a poem I love you, baby. Not literally, baby. It's sometimes unclear. Is that what it was?
Yes, that's really what it was. What's so interesting is some people really inspired a lot of poetry coming back at us.
We have so many listeners that are poets.
Yes, but Ura didn't inspire so much poetry. People were really just flabbergasted by his sweet smile and his flexibility and his adorableness.
Apparently that's what we all want, is a sweet smile and a flexible dude.
But he didn't inspire many of us to poetry. That's all.
No.
But one person did say, anytime Ura wins a match, the Gyoji and I go in unison, hooray! Hurrah! Huzzah! I kind of do the same thing whenever he wins. I love it. I love it.
I think he's handsome, too. Someone else said, they think he's extremely handsome.
Yeah, the whole package.
He really is. So, I mean...
Tied up in a little pink bow.
Yeah. He's a cute little package.
Yeah. So that is why he is in third
place, everyone.
Third sexiest Rikishi of 2021.
Bronze medalist.
That's right. Bronze medalist. Okay.
Second place then would be...
Second place. Now we have a tie for second place.
Yes.
So we're going to give you both people, okay? Should we take them one at a time or should we just throw them out together? Do you want to take one person and I'll take the other?
I'll take Abi.
Abi is not in second place.
Oh, sorry. I'll take, I thought I saw that he's second place in my heart, apparently.
Well, yes. If you go to the bottom of the page, we got all the winners in order.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, we got some XL.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take the first one.
The first one? Okay, I knew you were going to take the first one.
Because I agree.
Okay.
I mean, if I was going to vote, this is my vote.
Okay, so in a tie for second place.
Kiribayama.
And Ishiura.
That's right.
And I completely agree with mine, too.
I mean, this person wrote Kiribayami, and I would have to 100% agree with that. He's got a winning smile, and someone else wrote 5 o'clock shadow, which I have not noticed if he has a 5 o'clock shadow, but maybe he doesn't shave his face during the tournaments. Who knows? I need to look closer.
Well, Kiribayama just has that dynamite smile.
He's just handsome. I mean, I think he's handsome. I would give him a modeling contract for Levi's jeans.
For Levi's. I can't see him in Levi's, but he's got such a great smile. To me, he should be in a toothpaste commercial.
Yeah.
Like brushing his teeth on camera would somehow be very sexy.
Yeah. I think he is classically handsome. And someone wrote come on. That's their only real reason they like him. They're just like, come on, y'all. Someone else said, perfect Rikishi proportions.
He's
nicely built.
He is very nicely built.
I wouldn't kick him out of bed for eating crackers. Yeah. I always say that.
Yeah.
I'm not usually eating crackers in bed, but if I did.
He's one that's changing. His proportions are changing quite a bit as of late.
Well, he's trying to get bigger.
Yeah.
He has a nice smile. Someone says a sexy brand of sumo looks hot even when he loses.
And really, that's what you want in a
Reminds me of Haruma Fuji, which is at least top 3 for my pick of sexiest retired wrestlers.
Oh, Haruma Fuji.
I don't know. I saw Haruma Fuji in a sweater vest with no shirt on under it, and I was like,
that's a little strange. Maybe he was
painting.
Please
don't do that. Hopefully. Maybe that's what he wears when he's painting to not get paint on his sleeves.
It's warm.
He did look like a strange grandfather, look like grandfather wear. Like, I'm going to wear a sweater vest with nothing
underneath. Well, you can't fault Haruma Fuji. I mean, he's just awesome. Anyway, you slice that cake. He's awesome. I'm not sure I agree with the Kiribayama and Haruma Fuji reminding one or the other, but that's okay. That's one person's idea.
Yeah, exactly. Another lover of Kiribayama said that sheepish grin he gives before just annihilating his opponent. It's like the dude thinks he's just gone out for a night on the town, takes a slap or shove, and then just takes care of business.
Now that I agree with. I love that sheepish smile.
Well, this listener sent in a poem. Kiribayama, sheepish grin and a salt throw, tenacious winner. Was that a haiku?
Oh, I like it. I like it.
People like his happiness when he smiles. Oh, here's another poem from another Kiribayama lover.
Okay.
They say that he has an Elvis vibe going on. Here it is. Love me tender, love me true. This year, Kiribayama, no one is sexier than you.
Ooh.
If you win a U show, that would be fine. But you don't, that's okay. You're just a hunk till the end of time.
Oh, nice.
Very good. Very good.
Kiribayami.
That's right. And this last person thinks he's so cute, sweet smile, laughs and is expressive when he has a silly loss or ends up on his ass.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, he does take his losses pretty well. Just generally seems good nature. He also is handsome and tall and seems to be in pretty good shape. So, he checks all the boxes.
Well, yeah. He's one that he doesn't seem like he gets angry a lot.
Yeah, he seems pretty easygoing.
Yeah, like a fair weather person.
Well, and I think like
he's having a good time.
Yeah. Well, wasn't he in the same stable as Kakeru? And Kakeru's the one who helped him learn how to eat natto and other things.
Are you saying that's why he never gets angry? Because he hung out with Kakeru and they sing My Way?
Yes, I think that Kakeru's disposition is just generally pretty chill.
He's like, sing with me and have some natto.
Yeah, he's like, you're Mongolian, I'm Mongolian.
We're going to have a great time. You don't have to take this so personally.
Learn my Renaissance man way of life.
Just relax.
Relax.
Yeah.
And just be great. Chill.
Just enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
I like that.
So overall, we had lots of Kiribayama love.
Yes.
Lots of Kiribayama love.
Yes, we did. Okay, but that Kiribayama love was matched vote for vote with Ishiura love.
Oh, and, the buns. I mean,
yes,
I didn't even have to read any of them to know that his buns were the star of the show.
And one person, that was the only thing they wrote about Ishiura. They just said, those buns. That is why he's sexy. And I completely agree. Those buns are amazing. And a lot of people said that. Big old muscles. Muscles. But another person said, that gorgeous physique.
Well, and he's wearing that gold mawashi. He looks like a trophy.
He really, really does. One really funny listener said, Ishiura has an amazing body and he's not too tall. I would not need a ladder to hug or kiss him.
There's something to that. Reaching over, reaching across versus reaching up and cricking your neck, There's benefits to being a little bit on the shorter side of things.
Yes. Well, the muscles.
Well, there's also just an emoji. Someone just put an emoji and it's peach.
A peach.
With an exclamation point.
Yeah.
Peach exclamation point.
And then people wrote things like, he is jacked. And jacked is, all caps with exclamation points.
There's so much poetry for Ishiura.
Yes.
And I feel like we should trade off every other one. I mean, there's a lot of poetry for this man.
So this man really inspired the output. A lot of people are very inspired by handsome body to write a little love poetry or maybe even a limerick. So let's share some, okay? Oh, Ishiura, you have hankered my love, but lovingly give it a slight tap on the cheeks as it sails off the doyo.
Very, very profound.
I'm just going to go for uber dramatic readings of these poems because how can you not?
How about this one?
Okay.
Ishiura, man of granite and steel, chiseled from head to the heel.
Yes.
He's a looker, no doubt. And I will shout it out loud. You could just call him a beau ideal. Oh, that's a very good. That's a very good poem.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know what y'all do for your day jobs, but I hope English teacher is one of them.
Okay, here's a haiku. Oh, Ishiura, little but powerful. Wrestle me anytime.
How about this one? Rubies are red, emeralds are green. Ishiura can yotsu me, if you know what I mean.
I like that one. Oh my god. Okay, and here's another haiku. Go Ishiura, Miyagi-no's muscle man, fights under his name.
Good.
That has that sort of like unsettled haiku feel to it, where you feel like there should be more.
Well, it's a 575
haiku.
As this person stated, just to make sure we knew
understood it.
what a haiku is. It's always good to be reminded. But this is the limerick from the same listener.
Well, and you got to know limericks are usually pretty salty.
That's right.
Here we go.
A Rikishi from Totori needed the lavatory. He hankered his man and rushed to the can. The result was his excretory.
The result was excretory.
Excretory. Did I say it wrong? Excretory. A Rikishi from Totori needed the lavatory. He hankered his man and rushed to the can. The result was his excretory.
When do you have an extra his in there?
Oh, the result was excretory. Sorry. I apologize. Just add a little beat in there. I still made it rhythmically make sense, but...
Oh, my God. Okay, so that is second place, which brings us to first place. This one really was a surprise for me. I've never thought of this man as being sexy, but you guys are changing my mind.
Well, I felt like after I read this, I definitely was like, I'm taking a second look now.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our number one hottest, sexiest Rikishi.
The man with the swagger.
The man with
the intense look.
The man with the cheeky grin.
The man with the cute glasses.
Nobody else but our very own
Hoshoryu! That's right. So many of you voted for Hoshoryu.
I mean, there's a book worth of love.
There is.
For this man.
Oh my gosh, you love his pout. You love his sultry mouth. You love his curled lips. You love the fact that he is the Marlon Brando of sumo. You love his tough guy manner.
He's a little like Clark Kent, where he wears his glasses and he looks real sweet and cute.
And
nerdy.
Yes.
And then he takes them off in the dojo and he just destroys people.
And boy, does that turn you guys
them
on.
And flips them, and he's just agile and fast. People friggin' love Hoshoryu.
Yes, you love his youth. You love his power. So many of you just mentioned his glasses over and over and over again. Oh my God.
That steely gaze. Not that steely gaze, but that steely gaze.
Here, one person wrote, the difference between the scary on-doyo Hoshoryu and the goofy off-doyo Hoshoryu. That, I think, encapsulates why people find him so sexy.
Oh, 100%. Mm-hmm.
I do want to say this, though. Someone said... sexy and beloved aren't the same.
Okay.
Hoshoryu, sexy. Ura, beloved. Okay. And I totally get that.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, Hoshoryu he's steamy, He's like
he is McSteamy.
Yeah. McSteamy of the sumo world.
Yeah, he's a bit of a McSteamy. He's powerful. He's graceful. He's
little pouty face, like he might be mad at you.
Yeah,
bad boy look.
But put on those silly glasses, and he's like not the bad boy that we think he all is.
Yeah, and for all of our men who are appreciating these wrestlers, it may not be a sexual thing for you. You just may like the way this guy runs the show, the way he walks into the dojo and owns it. And I think Hoshoryu is one of those that appeals to everyone for whatever reason. He just seems to he's got a commanding presence.
Yes, he does. Let me share a haiku about Hoshoryu.
Okay.
Because this points to what you were just saying. Hoshoryu glowers, but when he moves, youthful skill, elegance, power.
Oh.
Isn't that nice?
That's very nice.
Yeah. Someone's got a haiku skill out there.
Yeah, not just one, but it turns out most people have got some rockin' poems.
Like this one, Hoshoryu. Just like Asashoryu, but not really. Splash.
I love just splash. I'm going to end any poem I write from here on out. Just if I need another syllable, I'm like, just write splash. It's a good word. Splash.
I think that should be the ending to any song I ever sing, any pronouncement I make. Just splash with jazz hands too. Splash.
His legs, the way he moves, powerful and graceful, skilled, agile. That's what somebody said about Hoshoryu. Splash.
This one's good. Oh, Hoshoryu, move your hips like Shakira. The white rope awaits.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of people think if he could just put on some weight, we really do have a Yokozuna in the near future, possibly. And I always think of him as smaller, but he's 6'1.5", Hoshoryu. Doesn't he look smaller to you?
Maybe he's getting taller every day.
Perhaps he's still growing.
Yeah.
He's a young guy.
He is.
Those eyes is what somebody wrote. Those eyes.
Yes. Here's another one.
With his pouty, sultry mouth and curled lip, Hoshoryu is the Marlon Brando of sumo. His tough guy manner in the ring barely conceals the tender and playful off-the-doyo personality, which is also classic Brando. Mm-hmm. And when he throws an ippon seonage or harai goshi, even the men swoon. No one swooned over my pronunciation of that, though.
Hoshoryu, he is the one that you all think is the sexiest by far.
But you know what?
Can we talk about some of the other votes?
Yeah, because I think that some people are so passionate about whoever their number one is and that nobody else voted for that wrestler. But the fact that this person like doubled down and was like, no, you just don't see how handsome Ichinojo is.
Absolutely. There were a lot of people who voted for Hakuho and Terunofuji for similar reasons.
Yes.
Because they loved the power, they loved the dominance, they loved that look on his face. The confidence that comes along with these men is super, super sexy. I totally get this because you're speaking my number. If somebody walks into the room that confident, you do take a double take.
Yes.
Maybe in real life it would be a bit too much, but on the doyo, it's awesome. Like here's something that someone wrote about Terunofuji. He knows when to be gentle and when to be just the right amount of rough. And the smolder. So many people said Terunofuji smolders at the camera, and it feels like he's smoldering directly into my soul. And now that, yes, 100 times, yes.
Well, so many of these are like laced with sexuality. I'd like to mention one. This is somebody who wrote in about Dae Shoho, and he wrote, no, Daisho. Let's think I'd like to think it's Daisho. Yes. Anyway, he wrote, as a heterosexual man, hands down. No, it is Daisho ho ho. Daisho ho. Not Daisho, Daisho ho.
We'll have to see if that's a different person.
I think it's in Juryo, I want to say. I think I've seen it. As a heterosexual man, hands down, Daisho ho has the prettiest face. And as objective measure, I'd wager he was one of the most symmetrical faces in the top 2 divisions. And though he's a guy, a beauty mark works for him. Oh, so he's a beauty mark. Love it. And from another standpoint, I would think that many would find the gentlemanly sportsmanship of Kaisei, Chiyonokuni, and Yutakayama as attractive qualities. And I would say 100%. I so appreciate that about Yutakayama or Chiyonokuni or Kaisei after match, how they just kind of look like, I'm sorry I beat you. And then they help their opponent up back on the doya, the care. Like, did you hurt yourself? There is like a gentle, sweet nature about those wrestlers that I find really attractive.
Unless you really like dominance. And then you're like, no, I just want him to win.
But I like that this person mentioned Daisho Ho. Who may all be maybe like, who is there a wrestler named Daisho Ho? And apparently there is. Oh. And he's down in, I think, Juryo. Let me look it up. I've heard the name before.
Where's this beauty mark?
On the left side of his little face, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, yep. 100%. Daisho Ho, Juryo 7. Yeah, he's in Juryo. That's why we don't see him all the time, because we're always watching upper ranked, sadly, and we don't always have time for Juryo, but I've definitely seen Daisho Ho around.
I like this one. This is a vote for Okinoumi. Why? He has that sophisticated look on his face. Like he just wants to do sumo casually so he can go home and make love to his wife, which is his actual full-time job. It's so true.
Okinoumi, the man of the sea. I think, hands down, Okinoumi is the handsomest.
He's beautiful.
He is a beautiful man to me. Yeah. I like the way he looks. If it was just looks alone, it's Okinoumi. With a close second, Kiribayama.
See, I would say it's his laid back attitude that does it for me too. I mean, okay, we're going to talk real life. I like laid back guys.
Yeah.
I love that sort of attitude that Okinaomi has. Like, yeah, whatever. I'll take it. Yeah, it's good. I'm happy. Whatever happens.
How much love we had from Chiyomaru. I mean, he is Mr. Sumo, but he must have been, what, 4th or 5th?
He was tied for 4th place with Wakataka Kage.
Oh, I mean...
Which I love this world that allows Chiyomaru and Wakataka Kage to tie, because the same world tied in... Okay, let's talk places for a second. 4th, the tie Chiyomaru and Wakataka Kage. 5th was Enho, our last year winner.
Last year he slipped.
6th is a tie between Hakuho and Akisayama. And I love this world that lets Akisayama and Hakuho tie.
I do too. And there's so many reasons to love both of them equally.
Yes. So let's talk about them. You want to talk about Chiyomaru?
I do, because I agree with so many of our wrestler love. Everything that came back response-wise was best butt, roundest belly. And I would have to say, you are so right. His bottom half is so incredibly strong.
Yeah.
But it is quite perfect.
It is teeny and perfect.
Smooth and perfect. And then he has this big old belly and this big round face. He's just round. And everyone likes his funny personality. Like he works that side of his personality to the crowd.
But obviously people love his TikTok too. And that's the other reason people have fallen in love with him.
Yes. Yeah, people love his personality, his round face, his double chin, his roundness. He seems like a happy guy, and that's what everyone kind of loves about him. He's got a little cheeky smile, a little mischievous smile in there. But overall, most people just love his attitude that matches his round, awesome body.
Yes.
You know?
And people love Wakataka Kage for one simple reason: his body. People were very clear. Yeah. They were like, handsome face, great body, best body, nice looking, smaller dude, arms, totally do it for me, nice traps, lovely buns. He's adorable. Yeah. Like, people were very clear and to the point with Wakataka Kage.
I got a couple of poems here for Chiyomaru.
Oh, okay. Let's hear.
Bright green mawashi, body round as a doyo, the cutest napper.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
He is the sweetest napper. Yes. If you were going to choose a wrestler to nap with,
I know you would choose him. You like the short, round guys.
Chiyomaru's tall. He's not short. Takakeisho's short. Smashing is different. Takakeisho is smashing. Napping is Chiyomaru.
Totally different wrestler.
If I could deal with we're spooning. If I could deal with the CPAP machine on the back of my head,
then you'd be A-okay.
Then I would 100% sign up. If they ever need to raise money, take a nap with a sumo wrestler, I will be the first person to sign up.
I think
nap with a wrestler. Wouldn't you pay at least $200 for that 10-minute cat nap with a wrestler?
I think the CPAP machine would probably take me out, though. If Terunofuji
you have earplugs
napped without a CPAP machine, I would totally go for it. He would have to be bigger and taller than me so he could spoon me. But he'd have to be able to reach around me. So his belly can't be too big.
Okay.
So unless he's really taller and I can sort of like fit above his belly, and then that'd be okay.
But we've just given the JSA an incredible money-raising tool. Just nap with a wrestler.
Smash with another one.
Get smashed by a wrestler.
Well, they only do go to parties with wrestlers.
No, but we're giving them some pretty creative ideas.
Yes, we are. People are still very much into Enho. They love his singing. They love his likable demeanor. They love his good looks. People were very professional in their love for Enho. Nobody went too far. Whereas
Endo?
Nobody went too far with Endo, but they do like his buns.
Yeah, they like the sideburns and the buns.
I love the fact someone voted for Hokuto Fuji and they wrote, why? He is kind.
I like that.
End of story, full stop, splash.
Splash.
Hokuto Fuji. Let's just end right there.
Can I read a poem from an Indo lover?
Yes.
They like him because of his hot defense. But the poem is, Hakuho was thrown, just like fresh pizza dough, by my dearest boy, Endo. It's nice. Okay. I like that they put pizza in there.
Yeah, I like
and they
that
like,
too.
It's hot. It's hot and it's fresh.
I like that. Andy from Seattle said, hey, I just want you guys to know that you're being a bit genderist. But he said, hey, I'm voting for Luciana Watanabe or Watanabe. I don't know how to say her name. She helps out and she teaches kids of Sao Paulo. And he included this YouTube clip where you can go and watch her teaching sumo to kids. And she is beautiful. And this guy said, I could stare into those eyes of hers and listen to her talk for the rest of my days.
Oh my goodness, we love that.
Yeah, so here's a love poem for Luciana. The spring is the fall. Luciana Watana, be my love today.
I love it. I love it. I love that. Somebody loves Kaisei for his tall, dark hair, is chubby, smiles a lot, and mild-mannered. Never mean mugging or giving a side eye. Also, his name is Ricardo, and that's a very sexy name.
It is.
I mean,
totally.
When I look at him, I do think Kaisei, but I'm heavily thinking of him as here comes Ricardo.
I love Ricardo. Yes. Yes. Oh, that smile of his smile, his sweetness.
And he has hirsute.
Okay. Yes, he is.
Which I like Takayasu. I like hirsute men.
Would you like a red light special?
Oh.
There's one
do we need to have
special.
A sensor? Do we put on your earmuffs if you're listening in mixed company?
Yes. If you've got children around, maybe I won't read the worst of it.
Well, we can bleep it out.
Well, we'll have to see if this is even bleepable. I think I know who this person is from Twitter. Because there is one uber fan of Shahozan out there.
All right.
That thinks he's sexy for that frown, that ass, those thighs. Quote, he's fucking hot.
I'd agree. I think he is. I think he's very hot.
He is, especially when he smiles. I know this person loves it when he frowns, but his smile is really, really great.
Yeah, it's great because it's surprising. Because you're like, oh, I never see him like that. But he does smile a lot, just not in the doyo.
Yeah.
He means business in the doyo.
Exactly. I know there's lots of you that love Takanosho for his smile.
Akisayama, we haven't talked about Akisayama. Well, most of our listeners said, that man just has that look, ! Or just look at the man, all caps, OMFG.
Yep.
Look at those shredded legs and his smile. His shikona nearly contains the word sexy. I did not know that. If you looked at
I didn't know that either.
I need to know what the word for sexy is in Japanese.
Yes.
But he got some love. I'd agree. I miss seeing him.
Me
but
too.
when he wears his little glasses, he's a little Clark Kent as well. Like he's cute with those glasses on, but when he's in the doyo, he's very serious. But he doesn't look mean. He just looks like he's a serious wrestler that is going to try his best not to hurt you, but he is going to win.
He really looks like a guy who likes the cooking manga. That's really what he looks like.
I love him. I love Akisayama.
There are Teratsuyoshi fans out there. I totally get it. You guys like the fact that he's a small guy in a big ring. You like his swagger. Here's a quote. The mean stares at the end of the bouts. He always looks a bit irritated. Why that appeals to me, I have no idea. But I get that. I get that. And this is our longest reply, okay? This is someone who voted for Teratsuyoshi. Teratsuyoshi is clearly the sexiest Rikishi, partly because of his exceptionally vampiric hairline.
I like it. He's got the widow's peak.
Yeah. Smug, enigmatic, and possessing a charismatic allure. That flamboyant salt throw, anything but stoic, with expression of determination at a loss, and smarmy self-pleasure with a win. That is the most accurate description ever.
That is so true.
A Teratsuyoshi match is one in which anything can happen. It's pure excitement, second only to Hakuho. With a record of 37 different winning kimarite, a little man with something to prove and a big ego to sate. A man who loves to fight. If he didn't do it for a living, he'd probably do it anyway. It goes on. It's really wonderful. A devious neko damashi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. a wicked henka, a vicious harite, favorite grip, the grab 'em by the balls, maemitsu, small enough to employ all the best heel tactics and resolutely cheer on. He is the best boy, the best bad boy of the bunch.
Wow.
Isn't that a great description?
This person needs to be a professional writer if they're not.
If they're not already. There were so many more wrestlers that you all voted for.
We couldn't have done this without you all. I'm going to have to reevaluate this next boss show in March and maybe look through the lens of some of these listeners. Maybe I'm going to look a little bit harder.
At Hoshoryu.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. We'd like to leave you with one more thing. An erotic story from the Grand Sumo Breakdown guys.
It's actually Mac, right? Because he lost a bet.
That's right.
He lost a bet, and the bet was you have to do some sumo erotica.
That was his punishment.
That was his punishment. And you know what? We just have to have a perfect platform in which he can debut his sumo erotica. So we bring you Mac from Grand Sumo Breakdown, bringing you his horniest
That's right.
Work to date, I imagine.
Turn the lights down low, turn some Barry White on, and enjoy.
Or perhaps some kakaru singing My Way.
The feast lasted long into the night. Many guests had arrived and supped on hot chanko, sticky rice, and fine sake. Enho ate sparingly, his thoughts on the events of the night to come. A small smile spread over his lips as he looked down the table at Ishiura. The sumotori was laughing and toasting a fellow stablemate. His cheeks had the slight flush of intoxication, but it only made those pearly white teeth stand out all the more in his jubilant smile. Yes, thought Enho. It has to be him. He cast his gaze back down to his rice bowl and ate hungrily, his chopsticks clinking and scraping hurriedly against the bowl. Soon, thought Enho. It has to be soon. I need him tonight. The tables were cleared and sumotori lounged on their mats, yawns and weary eyes becoming apparent on all the guests. Slowly, ways were made to sleeping quarters and the heya shut down for the night. All was dark and still, the halls still faint with the smell of stew and sake, as Enho crept from the dormitory. He made his way past the kitchens, his bare feet padding silently across the floor. He slid open the door to the patio that connected to the storeroom. His pulse quickened. He could feel the goosebumps prickle across his skin as he reached for the door. His fingers curled around the hook, and slowly, very slowly, he opened the door. The musty smell of rice and bales washed over him from the pitch black of the room, but all was silent. Ishiura, he called in the darkness. Are you there? A match was struck from the abyss, and a small candle was set to light. Ishiura stood there, holding the flame. Enho, he said in a relaxed tone. Enho could see the rosiness beginning to fade from Ishiura's cheeks, but could not mistake the smirk for anything else but desire. Ishiura slowly walked around the room, finding several more candles spaced around, illuminating the area in a soft glow. Hurry, come in, shut the door. Someone will see, said Ishiura in a hushed tone. Enho turned sharply after entering the room and closed the door behind him. When he turned back to face Ishiura, he saw that everything had been prepared. When had he had time? Enho thought to himself. Mats and cushions on the floor, blankets, and the windows draped. It's perfect. Ishiura set the candle on the bench and gestured to Enho. Shall we begin? Said Ishiura with a smile. Enho nodded hurriedly and began fumbling with his robes. He wished he hadn't cinched his sash so tight. His fingers could not work their way as deep into the knot. He heard the sound of fabric on the floor and glanced up to see Ishiura, standing there, disrobed in a wash in the warm candlelight. Do you need some help? You always cinch your robe too tight, said Ishiura, taking a step forward, his body now fully illuminated by the candles. Every muscle, every bulge, every feature outlined in a warm glow beset by the darkness. I can do it, said Enho, looking back to his robe. I tied it, I can work it loose. Ishiura chuckled to himself and rested his hands on his hips, shaking his head. After several furtive minutes, Enho loosened his sash and his robe fell to the floor in a heap. They stood there for a moment, sizing each other up. It was time. Enho took his position, his hands grasping a sturdy edge as his knees bent. He steadied himself and looked to Ishiura. He now stood over him, and he could smell the faint hint of sake on his breath. Enho glanced down and saw Ishiura hefting his tool to action. It stood firm and sturdy, but Enho could tell Ishiura would be a tad shaky from the sake. He dipped his hand down into the small pail of liquid, then reached back to Ishiura and slowly guided him. Thump. Ishiura bent his knees, his senses slowly becoming undulled by the effects of the rice wine. Thump. Enho's hands began to do their own work now that Ishiura was finding his own rhythm. Thump. Faster, thought Enho as he dipped his hand back into the pale liquid. You need to go faster. As if sensing his thoughts, Ishiura's pace quickened. Thump. Squish. Thump. Squish. Sweat began to form on Ishiura's brow. Thump. Squish. Thump. Squish. Enho steadied and braced himself, their breathing coming faster. Thump. Squish. Thump. Squish. Yes, thought Enho. Just a little bit more. Almost there. Almost there. The door to the room flew open with a flash. Cool air rushed in, sending a piercing chill down Enho's spine. In terror, he looked back and saw Shohozan. Shohozan had been a guest at the party and had toasted to everyone's success. He strode into the room and closed the door behind him. So, said Shohozan, this is what you were talking about, eh, Ishiura? Enho's heart began to race. Never did he think that Shohozan would want to do this. Ishiura had said in passing that Shohozan was known in certain circles for this, but he did not believe it to be true. Ishiura ceased his motions and stared up at Shohozan, huffing. Enho, would you be offended if Shohozan joined us tonight? Enho looked Shohozan up and down, his belly pushing at the strain of his tight robes, his shoulders broad and thick, his neck and traps bulging with muscle, and an unmistakable glimmer in his eye. Yes, said Enho, huskily, as the fear was slowly replaced with desire. He is welcome to join us. Shohozan nodded, and with a quick motion, his robes cascaded to the floor. Shohozan took his position opposite Ishiura and Enho, and hefted his mallet into his rugged hands. As with Ishiura, Enho guided Shohozan to the exact spot he wanted, and the trio began again. Thump, thump, squish. Thump, thump, squish. Thump, thump, squish. The men found their rhythm, Ishiura and Shohozan alternating their thrusts as Enho's hands worked their magic. The room became a furnace. Grunts rumbled from each of them as sweat began to bead and drip from their writhing bodies. Their motions reached a crescendo with one final flurry of thrusts, and all three men collapsed to the ground, panting and exhausted. As Ishiura and Shohozan lay there, holding their hammers in their hands, Enho reached down to taste the fruits of their labor. He clenched it between forefinger and thumb, pulling a portion from the main mass and watching it stretch. Sticky. Good, Enho thought. He placed his fingers in his mouth, scraped the white, stringy mass behind his teeth. His eyes rolled back into his head as the ecstasy of flavor filled his mouth. Sweet and delicious, he thought. I always love making mochi for New Year's.
Oh my God. That was a different side of Mac than I think I've ever heard before.
I'm actually impressed. I'm actually very impressed. And I happen to know that he got some inspiration for this story from romance novels.
So he really did study up on how to write the best erotica.
Yes, and he's done it.
If you're looking for a second career, Mac, I think you might have one in sumo erotica. That's right. And you would definitely have quite a few of us that would buy that.
Oh my God.
That's it for us. Sayonara.
Sayonara. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
Abi rested his hands on the roof railing of the Shikuroriyama stable, his yukata wrapped snugly around his lanky frame, but it did little to shield his body from the warm air of the spring wind whirling up from the sea. He closed his eyes and breathed in deeply through his nose. The heavy aroma of the koto ward flowed into him. He could smell the acrid scent of petrol from the river barges and cars from the streets below, the fresh notes of flowering foliage and cherry buds from the Kyosumi Park, and beneath all of that, the heavy salt air brought in by the Bay of Tokyo. He let the bouquet of aromas flow through him for a moment longer before he opened his eyes once again and stared up at the slowly setting sun. I can't give this up, especially now, he thought to himself. These have been the best performances of my career to date. I know I should go home, but I can't. I need to face him. Just one more time, and then I'll be satisfied. He nodded to the setting sun and let a smile grace his lips as the door to the roof opened behind him. He turned to see the man known as the Beefcake Bulgarian, Oyama of the Kasugano Heya, his favorite pusher-thruster. Him, thought Abi. Abi eyed Oyama as his frame was illuminated by the setting sun. Those massive shoulders, the strong neck, the furrowed brow, and the gargantuan bulge at his waist. I thought you'd never come, said Abi, staring into Oyama's deep brown eyes. Oyama's laugh was rich and velvety. With the possibility of you finally leaving the Heya? How could I stay away? He gestured to Abi and beckoned to follow. Come down to the ring with me, just one last time before you go. I brought something special for the occasion. Abi and Oyama made their way to the dojo on the first floor of the Heya. The sun sunk over the horizon, and the moon in its full glory shone through the windows outside. The air was thick and heavy with the promises of spring. As the men crossed the clay, Oyama shrugged, and his yukata cascaded from his frame. He turned to face Abi, his muscular hands hooked into a dark green mawashi. Abi's pulse began to quicken as Oyama turned to face him. His eyes drank in the full sight of one of the top sumotori in the world. His rugged hands, strong and firm, his shoulders thick and well-toned, his belly large and rounded, and above all, his chest with its mesmerizing sway. Abi could feel sweat beginning to bead at his forehead, and his body sent a tremor up and down his spine. Oyama lowered his body to its haunches across from him, and rested just above the shikiri-sen, but kept his hands on his knees. Abi stared at the pusher-thruster in slight confusion. I thought you brought me something special. Oyama's velvety laugh returned, sending a jolt of pleasure through Abi once again. I did, came Oyama, but you'll have to earn it first. Abi tugged at the sash holding his yukata closed and let the thick fabric pool at his feet. He stood there, facing down his rival, the glint of the moon shining off his red mawashi, drawing Oyama's eyes to his waist. Red, the color of passion. It suits you, said Oyama. Abi felt blood rising to his cheeks. He sank to his haunches, hoping Oyama had not noticed. Oyama chuckled softly and mirrored Abi's position. He bent his knees and leaned forward on his hands, watching Abi, taking in every movement of his well-muscled body. In an instant, they collided. Oyama's hands went up to Abi's firm chest, and he heaved against him. Abi matched Oyama's intensity as he laid his hands on his ample torso, trying to lift him. They grunted, they thrust, and they pushed against one another until sweat glistened off their skin in the moonlight. Their breath grew loud and heavy. Abi gripped Oyama's shoulders tight as he thrust one final time, causing him to tip out of the ring, falling atop him. Oyama's body shuddered with exhaustion, and he smiled up at Abi. Was it good for you too? Abi smiled, embarrassed and pleased. It's always good with you, as he climbed off of him. Oyama grasped Abi's hand tightly as he helped him up. I have just the reward for your hard work. Abi took his eyes off of Oyama for the briefest of moments as sweat dripped down into his eyes. He wiped it away with the back of his hand before his vision cleared, and Oyama stood before him, clutching a shaft in his rugged hand. Abi's eyes widened as he stared at the treat. The wood was thick, the balls plump and glistening. He stared hungrily at the pink tip and licked his lips in anticipation. "Well, come and get it," said Oyama huskily. Abi's hands deftly grasped the shaft as his tongue explored the round pink tip. He tasted the salty, sweet, and sticky sauce that dripped from it. He softly nipped at the smooth surface, feeling the soft flesh press against his lips. Oyama let out a satisfied sigh. "And here I was afraid you were too old for these kinds of treats." Abi could not respond as he shoved Oyama's reward deep into his mouth, his tongue savoring the sensation. Dango is the best spring treat after all, especially when shared.